After a day off and after the trade deadline has come and gone, the Redlegs open a set against the visiting Athletics. And a pleasant good evening. Welcome back to Reds Baseball. Alongside our captain, the Hall of Famer, Cincinnati's own Barry Larkin, I'm John Sadak. Jim Day on the way in just a bit. And Lark, a somewhat surprisingly dormant deadline for the Reds. They did make a couple of deals, sending a pair of southpaws to new spots.
Well, we're going to get a chance to talk to Nick Krall during the ball game today. But I'm going to tell you, this was an emotional week for many of those guys down in the clubhouse. Not a lot of stuff was done during the trade line, the deadline, but certainly guys have to feel good about still being here and being part of this family.
Now, the move of Nathaniel Lowe does open the door for rookie Hector Rodriguez. We'll get to that in a bit. It also means the battery is still here tonight. The birthday man, Brady Singer, the tearful catcher, Tyler Stevenson. Many had forecasted these were the two most likely to be sent away from Cincinnati, and Stevenson talked about staying a Red.
It was a very stressful kind of day yesterday. Just kind of had my phone on me at all times, and just kind of hung out with the fam, and then got a call from Tito at like 6:05. I'm like, oh boy. And then he just said that nothing was happening, and obviously believe in what we have in this clubhouse and in this team, and can still make a push. So yeah, after that it was a big sigh of relief.
You can see in that smile such a sense of relief.
That's real. That's real. I went through it one time. You worry about what could potentially happen, but you're leaving. You really, truly are leaving your family. He's only been with one organization his entire professional career. It's good to see him still around.
We're going to see a new Red tonight. Let's go down to the field. Welcome in Jim Day. It is debut day, Jimmy, for Hector Rodriguez.
Indeed it is. You mentioned trading away Nathaniel Lowe. That opens up an avenue for playing time for one of their prized prospects. That's Hector Rodriguez. He'll be in right field tonight, make his major league debut. The hit tool is what is in focus for him. You look at his numbers at AAA Louisville this year in 140 games. The OPS, he has power, it's 880. He is a bad ball hitter. We'll see if that translates at the major league level. But you better believe this is a dream come true, as he spoke through interpreter Tomas Vera.
Esta sala significa mucho, pero la verdad algo que he venido.
I mean, it's a dream. It's a dream to. Did you dream when you were a kid? Since you started playing baseball and then finally seeing happen and being here, it's great. And I could not believe it, and I just like can't happen. And then first thing I did, it was call mom and dad. I just called it.
We love those debuts, and it is next. It's the Reds and the Athletics. Game 1 of 3 from G, A, B, P. John and Barry are back with the call next.
Season long.
Cincinnati Reds Baseball is presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare and the Young Family Cancer Center, a regional leader in cancer care. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For all Toyota offers, go to toyota.com. By O'Connor, Achani, and Levy. Attorneys you know, attorneys you trust. And by Bar S, America's #1 hot dog and the official cooked dinner sausage of the Cincinnati Reds. Our Bar S storylines, air raid sirens might be going off. It's bombs away when these teams match up. The A's have given up 176 home runs, the most in the majors. They're on pace to shatter their single-season franchise record. The Reds have launched 145 this year, just outside the top 5 of the bigs. They are on pace for the franchise's 10th ever campaign of 200 or more. Some of the stories to come. First pitch awaits. The Reds and A's match up for the first time this year.
Okay, taking care of our own.
At 22 years young, the third-ranked Reds prospect Hector Rodriguez into right field to make his major league debut. The hit tool is strong. Lark, debut days hit different.
They certainly do. Now, this is an emotional time. It's an emotional time for quite a few guys down there on the field, but you will always remember your first game. He is here, he is in the big leagues, and he's starting tonight. Looking forward to see how he does.
Showed a lot of pop at AAA, had a breakout campaign in that regard, and he'll get his shot at the show here in Cincinnati. Brady Singer back to the mound today, turns 30 years old. Happy birthday, Brady.
Well, last time we saw Brady Singer, it was against Cleveland. It was 6 runs on his 4 1/3 innings pitch. He was pitching well in that game, then it kind of fell apart on him. He's been consistent. He's taken the ball. He's been an anchor for this pitching staff. Don't know what was going on in Brady Singer's mind, if he thought that he would still be here today or not, but he is here and he will go out and compete.
Lineup that he'll match up with. The A's have lost 5 in a row, 8 of 9. They have dropped 12 of 16 since the All-Star break. Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, switch hitting Jonah Heim. Jeff McNeil has been hot. Tommy White, Donovan Walton, Carlos Cortez, and Henry Bolte, the fastest man in the big leagues. Butler leads it off. He led off against Singer out in West Sacramento. September the 12th last year began that game with a home run. An issue at the game start. Singer checking in with home plate man Lawrence Barksdale.
Pitch com.
Well, they need a new bacon strip for the hat. A full defense that'll try to help Singer out from Tri-Health. J.J. Bleday was last. An A, faces his former club. Myers and Rodriguez. Infield of Hayes, De La Cruz, McLean, Stewart, and catcher Tyler Stevenson remains a Red just like Singer. So a hiccup right at the start here for this battery.
Boy, so bad for Kyle Arnsberg when this happens, because he's in charge of PitchCom, and they just kill him when this happens. A lot of it's out of his control, but they are currently verbally killing him right now in the dugout.
Always giving guff in a dugout. To be honest, it's been an issue far less frequently. When PitchCom started, I felt like it was almost a time or two a game there was an issue. I don't recall it happening right before first pitch before. Underway on a strike. Well, the Reds have won 8 of 12. They did begin the day 6 games back in a loaded wild card chase. A lot of teams. 0-1 down and in. While the A's are way out of it. They're technically only 12 out, 4th place in their division, but they have the 2nd worst record in the American League. They're 11.5 out in their wild card. They began play June 16th at 500 in a watered-down American League in the chase at 36 and 36. They have gone 9 and 31 since. On the edge strike from Singer, whose command and finish inner edge to lefties has been so much sharper.
Yeah, and that's been the key to his success. I think he really started to pitch that inside part of the plate with conviction. There it is, another pitch on the inside part of that plate, but that breaking ball happens and it works because of the fastball that's in. Lawrence Butler a little bit out in front, just swinging a little bit over top of that breaking ball simply because he has to respect that sinker in on his hands.
And that is 900 strikeouts now for Brady Singer. Congratulations to him on the milestone. Strike one on Jacob Wilson. He is the son of former All-Star shortstop Jack Wilson, best known for his Pirates days. Swing and miss by Jacob. Oddly enough, he handles right-handers better. 293, 5 of his 7 homers. Does not chase on that sweeper. Reaching swing on the breaking ball away.
He's going to sweep at it, just keep going out further. That's a veteran move right there.
Now Tyler Soderstrom, who is the big bat right now because Big Amish Nick Kurtz hit the IL, a strained right thumb. He had been in a mini funk offensively. Swing and miss. And Soderstrom is the team's leader in extra base hits and doubles, but finds himself on a slide that's coincided with their poor play of late. 3 for his last 26, no walks, 11 strikeouts in that time. Seemed to go. Appeal says no.
No, we talk about this a lot, but it is really hard to see the ball right now. This is a particularly bad night right now with the sun on the batter's eye.
What does that do to the hitter?
Yeah, it's really about picking up spin and depth perception. You know, that fastball, curveball, or that change in speed and velocity is really tough to pick it up when it's really light on that batting eye.
And we're also seeing J.J. Bleday in left field with his glove raised right as Singer is ready to throw each pitch. Payoff will wait. Singer came off oddly. And a violation. That means a walk.
Yeah, it looks like his foot just slipped. As he was going to his windup, that back foot just gave way. Remember, we had all that rain. So maybe it's just a little soft on top of that mound.
I can't recall ever seeing a timer violation walk like that. Now Jonah Heim. Now Singer's career numbers against the A's, 1-4, ERA just over 4.5. He has handled several individual A's well lifetime, though most of those matchups in other unis. A lot of his time against Jonah Heim came when Heim was with the Texas Rangers. He is 0 for 7 against Singer with 4 walks. And Heim has had a fine season to this point, but he was one of the rising young catching stars. He was an all-star Gold Glover in 2023 with the Rangers. Hit almost 260 that year, career high 18 homers, set his career high that still stands in doubles. It has not quite been the same since. Pickoff throw. Soderstrom dives back in. While the Reds just won a series against the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the many teams they're chasing, the A's got blown out by the Tigers, 32-7 in a sweep defeat. Elevated strike. And the Reds have won 4 of 5 series since the break. The A's have lost 11 consecutive series and haven't won a set in their last 13 attempts. Upstairs, full count. Their longest stretch without a series win since 1979. And there have been some bad A's teams in recent years.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. Mark Kotze.
Runner off, high fly to right. Rodriguez in, McLean out. Welcome to the big leagues, Hector Rodriguez.
in Elizabeth Healthcare.
Ellie De La Cruz leads it off for the Reds. Full 9 from St. Elizabeth Healthcare. The red-hot Sal Stewart, the former A, J.J. Blade, Tyler Stevenson cleaning up. Eugenio Suarez, Dane Myers, Hector Rodriguez making his splash in the show. Ke'Bryan Hayes launched an impressive home run when we saw him Sunday at Matt McCling. They face arguably the A's ace who began the year in the bullpen in J.T. Ginn.
Yeah, he's a 5-pitch pitcher who's had a lot of success against right-handed opponents. This year, right-handed hitters are 168 against him. It's a sinker. Gets a lot of ground balls with that sinker, and a really, really good changeup.
Gets a quick out from Ellie De La Cruz. Now the right-handed Sal Stewart. You mentioned that average against. He is the best pitcher in the bigs this year, batting average against righties, among men with his innings. A deliberate, delayed windup. A strike to Stewart. Just filthy. He'll even use his much improved changeup right on right. And he has not allowed a single hit on the changeup against a righty this year. Now he's generally fastball change, but against righties he's more fastball slider. But he'll use all of his pitches. And there's the changeup right on right.
You can see a lot more usage this year than in the past. And the reason why? 186. A lot of success.
He's been trying to throw it in the zone for a strike more. There's the slider. Slapped by Stewart into center field. He's got another base hit.
This ball is on the inside part of the plate. Watch Sal pull his hands in and get that bat hit to the ball. Great balance. And didn't get a chance to extend, so he just pulls those hands in so he can get the bat hit there. Ball's off the bat at 95, base hit.
J.J. Blade spent the last couple of years as an A. Takes ball 1. He broke out 2 years ago. Set a still standing career high. 43 doubles, 20 home runs. He has 19 now as a Red. Topped through the right side, base hit. That paused the break of Stewart. Back-to-back base knocks for the Reds. And now Tyler Stevenson. Last we saw Stevenson, he was authentically emotional with Jim Day, considering the possibility that he might have had his last game, his last swing as a Cincinnati Red.
And that, just like the first swing, was a homer. And that was pretty cool. I'm going to tell you, it truly is an emotional time in your life, in your family's life, because it's not just you. It's like the wife, the babies. They have to be prepared for wherever we're going next, if we're going anywhere.
Grounded to short. Wilson, flip, Walton, double play.
Bucket of the day from KFC.
This is all I know. This city has accepted me, and kid from Atlanta, and to be a part of this organization and to understand the history of it. And it's felt like home, and obviously don't know what the future holds, but I get to enjoy these next 2 months with this group of guys and make a push, hopefully.
And yesterday was a tough day, as you could imagine. He said he kept his phone on him all day. It was so much that he thought he was going to get traded that he and his wife went to favorite spots around Cincinnati yesterday. Some favorite restaurants they like to go. Went to the park they like to go to. They went to the aquarium because he thought, I'm going to enjoy these things one last time. And as it turns out, it didn't happen.
Jeff McNeil ambushing to right, turns and holds. Good charge and throw by Hector Rodriguez keeps McNeil to a single.
Yeah, really nice play by Hector Rodriguez. Gets to this ball in a hurry. I talked to Vince Harrison, who was one of the coaches down in the minor leagues, and he told me how well Hector was playing. He said he gets a bad rap. You can see that right there. Good closing speed to get to that ball, and then a strong throw to second base.
Played mostly the corners, did have some time in center. Is there a position where he's best?
Well, remember, he is a converted second baseman. Guys that are in the middle of the diamond, that grow up and play in the middle of the diamond their entire lives, are probably better in center field when they move to the outfield than the corners.
Swing and miss by Tommy White. He's one of a few rookies in this Athletics lineup. Hitting .283 on the year. On July 28th, he went 4 for 4 against Boston. He has only 3 hits and 21 at bats since. And he's got 8 strikeouts in that time now to boot.
Great pitch right there by Brady Singer. Seeing a few of these A's chasing on the outside part of the plate. Look for him just to live out there against these righties.
So now Donovan Walton. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Catcher's challenging a ball call.
A strike one by Stevenson.
Let's overturn it to strike.
No man has more overturns or a higher overturn rate at his threshold than Stevenson. Check swing foul by Walton, who's been a bit of a journeyman through his career. First came up with the Mariners, time with the Giants. He had a minor league deal with the Angels and did really well. He left the Angels hitting .319 when he got DFA'd in a roster crunch. 32 games played into the year. A's picked him up. Since then, he's not really hit. In 15 games with the A's, he's been at $1.85. Diving breaking ball from Singer. McNeil held on. As Singer turned his year around dramatically, span of his last 11 starts entering tonight. Pitch efficiency was a big part of it, increased in many of his starts in the last month. Just missed on that borderline slider. He's had a few full counts already here tonight. McNeil goes, 3-2 is fouled back. Reds and A's rather famously have met up in a couple of World Series. That 7-game thriller in '72 against the swinging A's, and your '90 Reds that swept away the Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire Bash brothers. Sent to the opposite gap. Tough play in the sun for Bleday. Gets to it, extends, and secures the out. He had to cover a lot of distance fighting a burning sun in the process.
Yeah, it was nice to see JJ gets a good jump on this ball and takes the perfect angle. Oh, from this angle, we can't see the challenge of the sun that he had to fight, but does a nice job tracking that ball down.
So now Carlos Cortez serves as the DH for the A's tonight. Called strike in.
Carlos Cortez, when he plays the infield, he is a right-handed thrower. When he throws from the outfield, left-handed.
A natural lefty. His dad taught him to throw right-handed as a kid because he wanted position versatility. He wanted exactly what you're talking about.
Incredible. You ever see me throw left-handed, John?
No.
It is not pretty.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Look at the booth camera ready. Somebody get Lark a baseball. Singer gets another strikeout. Hector Rodriguez will get his first big league plate appearance. He'll bat third for the Reds in the home second. Back on Reds TV from Bar S. Hector Rodriguez, bat in hand, due up here in the second. Eugenio Suarez leads it off. No doubles from Tommy White at third base. Down and in on Suarez. It's been a rough return for Gino. He does have 14 homers. The average just over 200. Strikeouts have been a major concern. Now, that's true of many power hitters. That's been true of him in his career, but it has spiked significantly this season. 37%. He has the highest strikeout rate in the big leagues among men with 300 plate appearances. Now, the hope is lifetime he explodes on the back half of the year. His OPS in July and August throughout his career significantly higher than the earlier months. And he showed sparks of that with a mini power surge in the middle of July. Fouled away. But since he homered in back-to-back games played on the last road trip, he's 2 for his last 26, 16 strikeouts. And down 2 strikes against the most dominant pitcher in the game, limiting contact against right-handed hitters. Did he go? Yes, strike 3.
Guy that can really sink it, have it go both ways off the plate. That pitches unpredictably. It's a tough opponent. And that's what you have in Ginn.
Dane Myers about to stand in, having a career year in average and on base. He rides a career high 7-game hit streak. Check swing. Called ball, no appeal. Ginn pitching for the first time in 2.5 weeks. He took a no-hitter into the 7th, July 18th against the Nationals. It's a 1-out single by Keibert Ruiz. Swing and miss. That was the only hit he allowed in 6 1/3, and then he hit the IL, a blister on his right middle finger. Just got activated to make his return tonight. He originally was in the pen and struggled some in 3 relief outings, but has been excellent since he became a starter on the 10th of April. And for an A's team that has struggled to win, Ginn has meant wins this year. They're 14-8 when he starts. That's the pace to win 103 games in a season. When anyone else starts, they're 31-59. That's the pace of losing 106 games in a season. And a big part of it, not only is he arguably their best pitcher, but Lark, his run support is 4th highest in the American League. They score over 6.5 runs a game when he pitches. Myers to right. Lawrence Butler. And now the first major league plate appearance for the Reds' 3rd-ranked prospect, Hector Rodriguez.
Don't throw a get me over strike fastball, because he'll come out of his shoes.
He showed pop at AAA. 27 home runs, 2nd most in the International League. It's a short. Jacob Wilson. Reds in order.
Baseball is better with a group.
Hector Rodriguez getting his equipment, hat and glove from Ellie De La Cruz. A few shared a laugh together. Now, Hector talked earlier this afternoon about how much being in big league camp back in spring training helped him. And guys like Ellie and Suarez, he called it a Latino camaraderie, took him under his wing, told him certain things that he needs to work on, certain things that he needs to do. He went and applied that to AAA.
Well, thank you, Jim. And that's a huge part of his story. Hector Rodriguez began playing in the Dominican Winter League when he was 19 years old, which is hot shot to third, handled by Ke'Bryan Hayes. Henry Bolte is down. That's absurdly young for a league, for those unfamiliar, that is intensely competitive. Jose Ramirez was one of his teammates, and he hit in the middle of the order for most of that year. A league with significant consequence.
At 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, he is well seasoned. You know, the other thing is Hector Rodriguez also had an opportunity to represent the Dominican Republic in this year's WBC, but he chose not to go play because he wanted to take the full time and be with Tito Francona and everyone in big league camp this year. The young man gets it, that's for sure. And he showed a little bit of what many people don't talk about, is his speed. I mean, he got down to first base pretty quickly on that ground ball to shortstop. And that ball that he tracked down in the outfield and cut it off to keep Jeff McNeil to a single. He's got skills. He's got ability. And what do you need to work on? Discipline. That's what he needs to work on. You know, everyone has their individual style, and Hector has shown it. You talked about the 27 home runs in AAA and 16 doubles. Had a decent spring training. He's got ability. What every player needs to work on is swinging at strikes. He is what they call a bad ball hitter. You know what a bad ball hitter does? Swings at balls that aren't strikes. Now, he hit some hard, that's for sure. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. was a bad ball hitter. So not that it can't be done, but eventually you have to kind of tighten it up.
Jake Wilson struck out his first time, rolled to Hayes. Second one, McClain, double play.
Attorneys you trust.
And welcome on back to Great American Ballpark. Scoreless game, bottom third. Ke'Bryan Hayes will lead things off. We welcome you into the booth, and welcome alongside us the Reds president of baseball operations, Nick Krall, along with John and Barry. Jim down to the field, and It's the day after the deadline. What are your takeaways? What were your plans going in? How do you feel it went?
We had a lot of conversations, a lot of tireless conversations, but at the end we ended up trading Nate Lowe for a pitcher in A-ball, and we traded Caleb Ferguson. You know, the one thing about trading Lowe was we were able to create a spot for Hector Rodriguez to come into the big leagues. He's played well. He's been in AAA for about a year from last year and this year time combined. So we really wanted to get him up here and felt it was a good way to do it.
Nick, I jokingly said to you, asked you a question when I saw you earlier today and asked you, had you got any sleep? You told me you slept well last night. Take us through that process. I'm assuming that's not just something that kind of sneaks up on you. It's a long, drawn-out process.
No, with you know, a lot of guys put in a lot of work. Rob Coughlin, Daniel Beatty from our pro scouting department. You know, you've got Jeff Groppe and Sam Grossman make a lot of calls to us other assistant GMs. You know, that process starts somewhere in June. That you start having phone conversations, you know, right before the draft, and then, you know, phone calls start picking up after the All-Star break, and, you know, we had more and more phone calls with guys probably starting right after the All-Star break into the road trip, and then, you know, all through last week. We were here until probably 11, 12 at night, every night, including Sunday. You know, it was some late nights, but it's a lot of work and a lot of good people put in work.
Brian Hayes sends it to center. Bolte makes the play, one away. There are a number of Reds that are on expiring deals. The two names that I think most would have forecasted could have fetched interest, were possible pieces to be moved, are the battery tonight. Brady Singer and Tyler Stevenson. Did the organization want to move them? What was the reaction of the market to their possible availability?
We had some interest in both guys, you know, with where we were with both guys. You know, Brady's a guy who is been a really good veteran leader for this club. What he does for this club and how he helps the young pitchers and continues to help them develop, and then, you know, lead by example. You know, just goes out there and gives you 6 innings every night and gives you a quality start, and he battles through things. You know, he's got a 2.70 ERA since the beginning of June, and, you know, he battled through a blister early in the season. You know, we wanted to continue to keep him on this club and see if we can give this club a shot. You know, with Tyler Stevenson, you know, if we take Tyler off, there was no other catcher for us to go back and get that we felt we could get. And, you know, with what he does with the pitching staff and where he is, you know, both guys have been quality contributors here, and we wanted to continue to play that out.
Well, Nick, talk to us a little bit about Hector Rodriguez, the guys that are here.
Yeah, he is. He's got a lot of bat speed. He is. He's, you know, plays left and right for the most part. We'll probably use him in right to keep Blade in left field most of the time, but he's really hit right-handed pitching. He's a guy that early in his career he thought he could hit everything, and he likes to swing, but man, he can make a lot of contact. He makes a lot of contact with fastballs, and he's got really good exit velocities as well. So when you look at him, he can, you know, the ball he hit in the first inning goes to the shortstop. He can use the whole field. He's got a good feel to use his hands to hit, which I think is a big deal. And you know, he's got a pretty good knowledge of the strike zone.
Broken bat in on the hands of McLean. Comebacker and a ground ball out, 2 down. We're with Nick Krall, president of baseball operations for the Reds, as Elly De La Cruz is about to stand in. When you look at how this deadline went, you forecast for 27. How do you feel this deadline informs that? What stands out to you about what you'll need to address?
Well, you know, we made some calls on seeing if we could get guys back for the future for 27 and beyond. And, you know, we obviously didn't make a deal for anybody, but, you know, where we were, I think we were trying to figure out how to thread the needle, how to make sure that we can stay in this continue to compete here for this year, and also was there a way to make us better for the future?
Now that the deadline has passed, Nick, does the process just stop, or some of those conversations continue and ongoing?
No, I mean we still continue. You can't make a trade, but you know, you've got guys who are designated for assignment that get put on waivers. You've got, you know, we got a player in Juan Brito yesterday that that is a utility guy in AAA that can play all over. So, being able to get a guy like that, maybe he comes up and helps this team at some point at the end of the year. He's played well in AAA, and he still has options left. So, you're still going to look to figure out if there's some guys that you can get on your club. Maybe you can make your club a little bit better from now until the end of the season and see what happens.
2 strikes in De La Cruz, who was grounded out to second base. But before we let you go, the Lowe trade feels somewhat reminiscent of the Tyler Naquin deal that netted you a couple of lotto picks in that trade near the deadline, including Hector Rodriguez, who's now in the big leagues. Give us a quick feel for the pitcher you got for Nathaniel Lowe.
Yeah, he's got 3 pitches. He's thrown really well in Arizona. He's already been promoted as a 19-year-old to low A, and we think he's got a chance to be a starter.
Nick, thank you kindly. Appreciate you being here.
It. Thanks, Barry.
That's Nick Krall, president of baseball operations. We'll step aside. Reds and A's.
Ray St. Clair Roofing.
Scoreless game. We shift to the 4th. Reds TV from Bar S. Strike 1 on Tyler Soderstrom, who walked on a timer violation before a payoff pitch as Brady Singer lost his balance some as he was set to come home. Soderstrom from a baseball family. His dad Steve, first rounder by the Giants back in 1993. Pops did make it to the show, pitched in 3 big league games. Was in the minors for 7 years. It does mean that he and Dad are the answer to a trivia question. Part of the limited father-son duos ever to both be first-round picks.
Now, is that just in baseball?
Yes.
Or is that in all of sport?
Ripped to right. No, just baseball. Off the wall, gathered there by Rodriguez. And that's a double. The team leading 25th for Soderstrom.
Location of the sinker up all over the plate. When we see Brady Singer having success, he's in under the hands of those left-handed hitters. The reason I asked about that father-son combination of first-round picks, because my son was a first-rounder in basketball.
That's right. And Shane's still hooping overseas these days.
Shug is still getting it done. He's going from Ephes to Fenerbahce.
How will the fans react?
I think it's been very positive.
0-1 on Jonah Heim, who is flying to right. When did he first beat you in one-on-one? How old was he?
14.
14?
You know this story.
I do not.
I told him I will never, because at the time I was bigger than him, I would never just kind of turn my back and just kind of try to back him down.
Right.
Me being a small guy, but he was 14 at the time. And so I was out there and I turned my back one day and he elbowed me in the back and said, "You can't do that." And I knew then it was over.
Swing and a miss. It's done for Heim as well. That's the 5th strikeout for Singer.
This sinker right here, the location of that works up at the top of the zone. 91-mile-an-hour sinker over the middle, double down the right field line. 91-mile-an-hour sinker at the top of the zone, strike 3.
Jeff McNeil smokes one to the right center. Late go sign at third. Soderstrom comes home and scores. The Reds are down 1-0. McNeil has been locked in since the break.
Yeah, he smoked the ball down the right field line his first time up. Hector Rodriguez did a nice job of cutting that one off. This time just right back up the middle.
Brings up Tommy White, who has struck out. McNeil went into the All-Star break hitting .226. Between the break and entering tonight, he was at .405, fifth highest in the majors, and he's gone 2 for 2 so far tonight.
On fire.
Line to Stewart, stop on the bag, double play.
Well, not much you can do, and Jeff McNeil on the line drive right back to the first baseman that's taking him to the bag. You get your secondary lead, try to get back, no chance.
Give me 3 cheese conies all the way.
Back at Great American Ballpark. 1-0 Reds trail. Sal Stewart. First pitch bounce foul. Willie Harris corrals it. Showing the stirrups down there tonight. Stewart singled into center his first time. He began the day co-leading the majors in RBIs. He is on pace to drive in 124 runs this year. The last Red to drive home that many runs, Dave Parker in 1985 when he was runner-up for MVP. He had 125 ribbies that year. That's the pace Sal Stewart is on.
Dave Parker didn't do that in his rookie season, did he?
No.
Yeah, I think that's what the amazing thing is about Sal Stewart, is the success he's had at such an early time in his career. Just still 22 years old, I believe, and just such a mature approach to hitting. Just it's been very nice to watch.
Away, there have been 2 rookies in the last 75 years to get 120 or more RBIs. Albert Pujols in his gargantuan 2001 season, and the polar bear Pete Alonso in 2019. End of list. Payoff. Bounce to short. Wilson. What's your feel? What's the impact of that exaggeratingly slow, deliberate windup that Ginn uses?
Yeah, it could lead to some deception, if you will, because it is deliberate. It is slow, right? He's got a fast arm after a slow body movement. You really look at the body, but it's really about picking up the ball and looking at the release point. So although it is deliberate in his body motion, it's long, it's kind of it is a true windup. You really don't focus on that. You focus on that arm slot as he's getting ready to release that baseball. At least that's what you're supposed to do. There's some guys out there that would just lull you to sleep. Think about Hideo Nomo when he first came into the league and his exaggerated windup before he threw to the plate. What I did is I just looked at the second baseman as he was doing all of his stuff, and then once he decided to come towards the plate, pick him up right before that moment. Little soft focus.
Leday has bounced a single through the right side, right into the tilted defense. Again, was a stretch man exclusively, but added that windup. Remember, he began the year in the bullpen to, quote, get into a rhythm early and to, quote, find that athleticism.
Everybody has it. It's different for everyone. Unique.
Change up down. 2-2. The door for Bleday to join the Reds was opened when the A's non-tendered him in November. After his electric 24, the best year of his career before this season, there was drop-off in 25. They decided to move on. And he has found himself as a Red, with 13 of his 19 homers coming here in Cincinnati. A ballpark that feels built for his swing. And he's been doing that a lot of late. He works a walk.
Just a really good at-bat by JJ. Falling behind early. Good takes, good takes, good takes. Seeing the ball, working the wall. Nice job.
Tyler Stevenson bounced into a double play his first time. Decent lead for Bleday, held on by McNeil. A nibble strike on the edge. Again comes from pedigree. He's out of Brandon, Mississippi. Was the Gatorade Player of the Year in Mississippi in 2018. And that year he was drafted by the Dodgers, 30th overall, but did not sign. Honored his commitment to Mississippi State. He became the SEC Freshman of the Year. And then Tommy John. Same year he had the surgery in March of 2020. He got drafted again, this time by the Mets. Second round, 52nd overall. Did sign. Did not pitch for a bit, recovering from the surgery. And as he ascended, he got traded in the Chris Bassett deal to the Athletics. Oh, 2 away. His misses have all still been pretty close to the zone.
Yeah, he dotted 2 sinkers out there. That time, typical pitcher fashion, went a little bit further out to see if he could get the chase. Tyler Stevenson.
Bleday back in. A's have some wanting defenders. Their best is arguably Jacob Wilson, their shortstop, who's made a few plays already tonight. That's driven to right center. Bolte, deep track. Butler at the wall, got it. Bleday scurries back, 2 down.
That ball almost got out of there. That was a cutter up in the eyes of Tyler Stevenson. I don't know if that was the location or if that was a miss, but he just missed getting that ball out of here.
And now Eugenio Suarez, who struck out on a check swing, no appeal his first time. So a lot of teams tend to move the left side of their defense, more exaggerated pull against Suarez. But the A's tonight have Tommy White just about on the chalk. And the shortstop Wilson, perhaps informed some by Bleday being at first base, playing a truer short. That's opened that hole, and it gets through. But most teams overplay their third baseman. They move the shortstop over as well. They did not, and that bouncer finds a hole.
Yeah, it looks like this is the more natural place for Gino to hit a ground ball, especially understanding that that changeup has been so devastating against right-handed hitters. You would think that he would pull that ball, understanding the third baseman being on the chalk. But you would think that shortstop would be pulled side as well.
So the Reds have their second shot with a man in scoring position tonight. Dane Myers is fly to right. He's been one of the Reds' best with men in scoring position. Swing and miss, soft strike, while Ginn has been excellent with men in scoring position. Batting average against for Ginn with men in scoring position is 145. That's 4th best in the majors. The Diamondbacks Eduardo Rodriguez, the Reds Chase Burns, and the Pirates Johan Ramirez are the only men that have done better so far this year than Ginn. Now make it 2 outs with men in scoring position. Sub 100.
Wow.
So what gives? Myers connects in this spot. Ginn gets outs in this spot. A middle sinker for a strike.
Well, that's the pitch you want to hit. So I would assume you're going to see a little bit. You're not going to see that location again.
Sent to right. Butler angling back on the run. Got it. Not the best angle, but he's able to catch up to it.
State Chevy dealers.
Tonight's injury report for Elk and Elk. A's are down 2 of their best in Big Amish, Nick Kurtz, and Shane Langoliers. Kurtz just hit the IL today with that strained thumb. Swing and miss. Donovan Walton, who was lined to left. A nice play by J.J. Bleday. Kurtz apparently, according to MLB.com, got an ultrasound guided PRP injection today. There is no timetable for him to come back. Reigning rookie of the year, one of the best bats going. Swing and miss. And Langoliers, as you saw in that graphic, done for the year with meniscus surgery. Just had that a week ago today. Even though the shadow has now swallowed up most of the batter's eye and that nature element of pitcher advantage is mostly gone, Singer's still getting some swing and miss. He has struck out 5. It was a leadoff double by Soderstrom that led to the run in the 4th inning. Appeal no go. Away. 0-2 to 3-2. To a walk. Brief word now from Big Sandy Superstore.
This summer, sleep cooler for less at Big Sandy Superstore. Your headquarters for luxury mattresses. Big Sandy Superstore.
Carlos Cortez has struck out swinging. Last year, the Reds got swept by the A's out in West Sacramento. They were outscored 21-9. The closest game of that sweep came when Singer started. He had a quality start. Just 2 runs in 6 innings. Solo shots by Lawrence Butler and Cortez. Sends this to right. Hector Rodriguez 1 down. Now, the Reds have lost 6 of 7 to the A's in recent years. In each of the last 6, the A's have gone deep at least 3 times. So far, none tonight. Bolte is grounded out to third base. In the history of the game, only twice ever has that happened between 2 opponents. Bouncer with eyes right side. Rodriguez, good charge, keeps the lead man Walton to second. Now, the Dodgers against the Mets in 2017. There were half dozen consecutive games of 3 or more Dodger bombs. And between the Reds and A's, A big part of that asterisk is last year's games were played, as most A's games have been played in recent years, in a AAA ballpark. Ball explodes there. Chip foul by Butler. Butler is struck out. He has walked. Blocked by Stevenson. Rides in. We've seen a slight spike in that in similar fashion again. Most of Singer's misses have been fairly minuscule, but they have been on that glove side into lefties, away to righties. Sharply grounded to Stewart. Feed to De La Cruz. Singer there to cover. Missed the bag. A dart off third. Alertly, Singer pops up and he looks back Walton to third base. They get the middleman on the force.
I don't think this throw takes Brady Singer down to the ground. I think he just missed the bag, it looked like, maybe with that right foot. Yeah, he was on it, and just his momentum, I think, just took him off the bag. That's a tough play when you're running from the pitcher's mound on a fast double play. You want to try to get there and get stable, but if you're on the move, got to catch the ball best you can.
That was a bit of an odd angle in how he went down too, and deeply flexed that leg. Now, by the way, Singer's last start that came Wednesday against Cleveland, when that start ended, he had given up 4 unearned runs. They made a scoring change. The Stephen Kwan bouncer to Ellie De La Cruz up the middle to begin that inning was changed from an error to a hit. All of those runs became earned for Singer with that change. Jacob Wilson pitched down and away. He has struck out, bounced into a double play tonight. Grounded foul. Granted, the A's have lost a good amount more often than they've won this year, but in A's wins, Jacob Wilson hitting .331, OPS of nearly 900. In their losses, he's hitting .232 in OPS in the 560s. Down and away. That slider, I feel like, was getting swung at a lot more in the first few innings. Runner off from first, pitch tailed away, trouble on the transfer, but Stevenson recovers. Walton took a few big steps toward the plate, then scurried back.
Trying to be a little too quick. I believe he was going to throw through there.
7th steal for Butler in 10 tries. Payoff pitch. Hung and stung down the left field line. Skips to the wall, a couple of runs. Walton scores. Butler scores. A standing 2-run double for Jacob Wilson. Reds down 3-0.
Location of this slider, just up and out over the plate. Every ball that has been hit hard today so far has been a mistake, and that's what big league hitters do. Slider just up and out over the plate. Jacob Wilson is putting a good swing on it.
Diving slider, swing and miss. Soderstrom has doubled, walked, and scored. A very similar fashion again, using the two-seamer. The misses, glove side just into lefties, away to righties. Called strike. The inning began with a walk. He was ahead 0-2 on Walton, lost him to the free pass. Line out, base hit, fielder's choice on what might have been a double play, and then the two-run double. Pitch count is spiked, ready for his 28th delivery of the inning. It's a full count. To second, McLean. In tonight's Toyota Tundra Home Run Challenge, Sari Fletcher from Sardinia, Ohio wins a brand new built in the USA Tundra if a Red hits the Toyota hit and win sign. Register for your chance at any Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Hector Rodriguez still searching for his first big league hit. He's only had one at bat so far. Hit the ball to the shortstop, Jacob Wilson. Well wide. Another calm take, 3-0. Four-pitch walk. His brother in town to watch. First trip to the bases for Hector Rodriguez. Up and away to Ke'Bryan Hayes, who is flying to center. 5 straight misses by Ginn. That brings out catcher Jonah Heim. Heim, in terms of caught stealing, has been a little all over the place. They ran on him a lot with Texas in 2024, and often volume and percentage more a reflection of pitching than the catcher necessarily. There were 98 stolen base attempts against him that year, the most in the majors. He got about 12% of them in. This year, it's a stark contrast between his time with Atlanta and his time with the A's. 1-0 in there for a strike. As a Brave this year, he did not get a single man. The league was 13 for 13 trying to steal against him. With the A's, he gets his man almost a quarter of the time. He's slightly above big league average, getting 7 out of 30. Brian Hayes hit a no-doubt home run Sunday to left center field. That came in the home second. He clocked the ball at 107 miles an hour. It was the second longest homer he's ever hit.
Yeah, this was a great swing right here. Ball out over the plate, complete extension. The ball was hammered.
You saw his dad after the game and talked about that blast.
Yeah, he talked about it. He said it's in there. Just want to see more of it.
And of course, his dad, former big leaguer himself, Charlie Hayes. Each of Key Bryant's last couple of hits, home runs. Looking. Our Jake Sweeney Kia pitch tracks.
Yeah, this pitch is just a sinker on the outside part of the plate. It's got good height to it. Just couldn't pull the trigger out.
Matt McLean bounced back to the pitcher. That was a pitch way in on his hands that broke his bat.
Yeah, that ball was well off the plate.
Reds have former A Sam Moll up in their bullpen. And you do wonder with Ginn pitching for the first time in 2.5 weeks, did not have a rehab assignment. He had a simulated game. That's not the same. Seemed to hit a little bit of a command wall at the start of the inning.
Well, this is a 72nd pitch on the day.
Flicked into right field, base hit. Rodriguez storms through second. Just now scooped by Butler. Stop sign at third. Head first plunge into second. A hustle double by McLean.
There we go. Matt getting it done. Right off the end of the bat. On a pretty good cutter off the plate. And Hector, I'm sure, had thoughts of scoring there.
Well, visit time for Ginn. It's interim pitching coach Dan Hubbs. Got that distinction after originally serving as the bullpen man when they dismissed longtime pitching coach Scott Emerson. That came less than a month ago on July the 13th. So now second and third for Elly De La Cruz, who was grounded out and struck out looking. Sal Stewart on deck. Already has a base hit tonight, first base open. Down, ball one. Before he hit the IL with the blister, Ginn carried a no-hitter into the 7th. But he had a near no-no in more proper fashion mid-May in LA against the Angels. 1-0. That is beyond third base hit. Rodriguez scores. He ties it. McClain to the plate for the lead. Offline throw. McClain scores standing. Ellie into second. And a 3-2 game.
Well, we've seen Ellie do this quite often on the breaking ball. This time it's on the fastball. This fastball was up and in. And he smokes this ball to left field. And watch Matt McClain get on his horse right away. Matt McClain may not be hitting the way he's capable, but he certainly is hustling.
Scored a single for De La Cruz. Goes to second on the throw from Soderstrom. Now Stewart, who has singled and grounded out. Ball 1. A's, like the Reds, were off yesterday. They just now are getting action in their bullpen. Pickoff throw. Behind the bag, Walton. Luis Medina is up in the A's pen. Big lead for De La Cruz. Grounded foul. Grab in the seats. Ginn was stingy through 3, stranded a couple in the 4th. Reds have gotten to him here in the 5th. Way outside, Ellie takes off. Throw down a dangerous one. De La Cruz has third. To me, he already had third base. And after that wild pitch, why risk the throw? You could gift a tie.
Yeah, you're right about that. Ellie's off right away, and Jonah Heim doesn't really get a good look at him. He'll advise throw to third base. And now the infield comes in.
Against the league's co-leader in RBIs. Some have a knack to drive them in. Stewart has a shot to tie him. Into right center field. Butler on the slide. Ellie tag. Butler no throw. Sac fly RBI. Tied at 3.
That's a good brand of baseball right there. Ellie taking the extra base on that ball in the dirt. The South goes from having to get a base hit to put the ball in the outfield. He makes the adjustment, gets the job done.
A rally by the Reds to draw even. Now the former A, J.J. Bleday, who has singled and walked already tonight. He has some prime power. Outside. Another change. That is arguably Ginn's best weapon against lefties. He's got far more movement these days than it did when the league hit it around some last year. Called strike 3. Earlier today, a number of Reds visited the in-city Cincinnati Bengals. Get a feel for football. Sal Stewart and company part of that parade, and Jim Day caught up with the Reds All-Star for his perspective. A little daybreak.
All right, John, thank you very much. Taking in Bengals practice today. I know you're a big football fan, sports fan. How was it?
It was awesome. What an awesome day. What an awesome experience I was able to have. Man, I had a great time. Thank you to them for allowing us to go to their practice, you know. And obviously to Jamar, you know, taking time out of his day. I know these days are long, that he came and talked to us, and it was a great time.
Tell me about wearing this Jamar Chase jersey. When did you get it? And I hear you wear it on football Sundays. Is this true?
Yeah, I mean, I love wearing jerseys. You know, if you see my closet, I got a whole section of jerseys, and my girlfriend actually got it for me 2 years ago as a gift. And I mean, I have them on my fantasy teams usually. So I mean, I just rep and I just watch. I mean, I just love the game. You know, me and my buddies, we watch football all the time. So it was cool, and they were excited to see that also.
And he's a pretty good dude to follow. You want to talk about a baller?
Yeah, he's a baller. Yeah, and he plays with kind of like a swagger, and it was really cool. So I kind of like how he goes about his business. And I thought that when he said 7-Eleven that he's always open, I thought that was the coolest thing. So I thought it was just funny.
And speaking of playing with swagger, this guy does too. John, let's go back to you.
So thank you, Jim, and kind thanks to Sal. He's a big Miami fan, both Dolphins and the U, but adopting the Bengals and Jamar Chase as well.
It's a good guy to follow. Should be an exciting season this year. Beefed up the defense. Always have those weapons on the offensive end. Should be a fun year for Bengals fans.
Jamar Chase, who's been able to set a number of Cincinnati franchise catching records. Sal Stewart becoming one of the best rookie Reds run producers ever. Jonah Heim, strike 1 from Brady Singer.
Sal had a conversation with head coach Zach Taylor, and I think it's on social media, and it's about what you would expect. Confident, brash. Zach Taylor asked him if he played football. He goes, no, but I could rush the A gap. I know I could rush the A gap.
Not on the field with those boys over there.
Zach said, you're awfully confident. Yeah.
That's a locked-in competitor. 0-2 to Heim. Seemed to go. Appeal says no. That's a couple of football teams now, Jim, the Reds have spent time with. Also had some time with the Seahawks this last road trip in Seattle.
Yeah, they did. They were able to tour Seattle's facility, and they said just the facilities alone were off the charts. And Tito in particular, they said they just treated them great that day.
So when are the Bengals going to come back and take BP at Great American Ballpark?
We might not want to have a camera for that one.
So when they did do that a few years ago, didn't Burrow hit like 4 homers in a row or something absurd like that?
Hit some out.
But his swing looked legit. Second base, McLean.
It is amazing how hard that is. If you don't spend your time kind of figuring out that swing, when you get a chance to put the bat in your hand. I've seen some great athletes go out there and try to take batting practice, and it did not go so well.
The worst I ever saw, unfortunately, and he's an Ohio guy, and I apologize for this.
Yep. I know where you're going.
LeBron James.
Yes, sir.
It was not good.
I saw Shaq
taking BP in St. Louis.
What size bat did he use?
It looked like a toothpick.
Way in.
I also saw Shaq, both living down in Orlando, riding a 10-speed bike.
Like a regular bike?
Well, I think it was modified, but I saw him sitting down on a 10-speed bike, and it was, he was bigger than a bike.
I loved when Wemby threw out a first pitch and you see his hand wrapped around a baseball.
Yeah.
It was absurd. It looked like it was a marble.
Yeah.
McNeil, a couple of hits and a ribby, and now a strikeout. Singer gets the chase on the fastball up.
Good location right here. Top of that zone. A little bit taller, but too close to take.
All right, if you can choose any one current Red to be on your football team, who is it and at what position? I have my answer.
Ellie.
Wide out, right?
Just absolutely. Just go deep, big fella.
Tommy White has struck out. He's lined into a double play. He loves basketball. He's a big NBA fan. If he were born stateside, would he have been a baseball player?
Good question.
I mean, obviously he has the skill for it, but would other sports have latched onto him? And in today's era of hyper specialization, would he have been asked to choose at a younger age?
Ellie loves him some basketball. I know that.
But it was Sal Stewart who won the free throw contest.
Yeah, no, his skills don't match, and they might have, Eddie, like you said, born in the United States. But as far as just loving the game, he loves him some basketball.
If Cincinnati still had an NBA team, I feel like he'd be there a lot. Two. In on the hands, roll to Stewart. Hits the A gap and gets ground balls. 1-2-3 for Singer. The A's have to punt. Cincinnati Reds baseball is presented by Jake Sweeney Kia. Drive smart, spend less. And by UC Health. Expect more at uchealth.com. Along with Bet365, where winning is everything. Along the mighty Ohio, tied at 3, sixth inning arrives. Reds 4, 5, and 6 due up, starting with Tyler Stevenson. QB1 gets his third time at the plate tonight. He's bounced into a double play. He's flied to right. That was pretty well hit. Caught at the wall by Lawrence Butler. Lifted left side, shallow outfield. Wilson. One down. Brief word now from Miami Valley Gaming.
Get ready to get lucky at MVG. With over 2,200 of the best gaming machines, we got you covered.
Eugenio Suarez base hit his last time. He's also struck out. Oh, this time around, its base is empty. That's part of it. But Tommy White is playing pretty much the exact same spot. Jacob Wilson is at least a step to his right. He's guarding that left side a little bit more. Dribbled fair on the run. Nicely done by Tommy White.
Now this is a tough play if you're not right down on that line. See how Tommy White is able to get around that ball and get his momentum going to first base. If he's playing more on the infield, he's got to run down towards third base and throw across his body. Much more difficult play to make.
There's double barrel action in the A's pen. Luis Medina still warms as he did last inning. He's now joined by Brady Basso. Dane Myers has flied to right, line to right. The line drive was an ugly route by Lawrence Butler. He did make the play. Butler does not rate very well defensively, but a lot of that damage has come from his time in center, where he was quite wanting. Henry Bolte has been a big level up. He has excellent speed and seems to get better reads. Bounce to third. The line score right now is identical. Both teams 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 3 left. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Tri-State Chevy Dealers.
Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com/Reds, the official source for Cincinnati Reds gear. Toyota game summary. What do you see in the starters?
Yeah, I thought both guys pitching well. Brady Singer, as Nick talked about, just giving this team a chance, another quality start, giving up those 5 hits and limiting the damage.
Alika Williams, pinch hitter, stands in against new man on the mound. Skyline Chili called to the bullpen, the former A, Sam Maul.
Last time it was Saturday against Pittsburgh that Sam Maul pitched. Threw 20 pitches in that outing.
That bounces, appeal no go. Williams has had some huge splits home and road this year. At home, he's hitting .309 OPS in the 860s. On the road, he's hitting .200 and his OPS in the 450s. Down and in. Maul was drafted by the Rockies, 3rd round in 13, but traded to the A's. That came in mid-August of 17. Got to the big leagues as a September call-up, 1st of September that year, with the then Oakland A's. Sent to center, Myers. 1 down. He would not be in the big leagues again until 2021, and he bounced around some in between. He was a waiver claim by the Pirates. He was a minor league Rule 5 man by the Giants. He had a minor league deal with the Diamondbacks and then went back to the A's in a July deal in 2021 for cash from Arizona. Was in the big leagues with them, had success left on left. Reds made a move Deadline 23 to bring him in for Joe Boyle, a flame-throwing prospect with major command issues. And he's been a big part of the Reds bullpen ever since. The other Max Muncy pinch hits for Cortez and fouls off strike one. Fouled away. Now this Max Muncy, 23 years old, out of Camarillo, California. He was the A's top pick in 21. He was born in 2002. The Dodgers Max Muncy was born in 1990. Line to center, Myers has it. 2 down. They were both born on the same day. They were both drafted by the A's. They have played against each other. And here Sam Maul retires this Max Muncy. Bolte, who has singled to right, he's also grounded to third. Outside. Bolte played high school ball just a few miles away from the Stanford campus. Wanted to play collegiately at Texas, but his boyhood team, the A's, made him a second-round pick in 22. Driven to right center. Myers on the run. Can't get there. Has to trap the ball. Bolte turns and holds. Base hit.
We've seen Dane Myers make some pretty good plays out in the outfield. This one was a good play in keeping this ball in front of him. He goes horizontal and catches the short hop.
Bolte is great speed. Left on left, Maul against Lawrence Butler. Right at him for a strike. Butler's been on with a walk and fielder's choice. He has a steal and a run scored. Bolte in the bigs, a team high 12 steals. He has been caught 7 times. He goes. Pitch missed, throw down. He swipes second.
You can see that foot speed by Bolte. Easy. He's long as well. He's 6'3".
He is the fastest man in baseball. One. Now that alone doesn't make you a base stealer, but pure speed, he's the quickest. And it feels fitting that perhaps it was fated when he was born into the Bolte family that he would show that speed. Swing and miss. In fact, home to first, he is the fastest since they started tracking it, not just this year. Faster than Trey Turner at his peak during this era. Faster than Bobby Witt Jr. Faster than Pete Crow Armstrong. Number 1.
That's pretty impressive. Especially hitting from the right-hand side.
And so where it impacts here on a base hit, even if it's to Myers and his outstanding arm, in a tie game, send Bolte, right?
I would assume. With 2 outs for sure.
Bounced up the middle. De La Cruz has it. On the bounce, Stewart safe. Throw to the plate. Bolte scores. Reds trail 4-3. The Reds will not challenge.
Sometimes it's just that easiest play that you just take it off. You just assume you're going to make the play, and some of the most difficult plays are the most routine to consistently make.
E6 on the throw, no RBI. Stevenson out for a chat with Jacob Wilson, the right-handed hitter about to stand in. Reds have Julian Garcia warming in their pen. And Wilson already has a 2-run double. He's 1 for 3. After Wilson, it's a lefty in Soderstrom, the switch hitting Heim, the left-handed McNeil. And now the Reds are trailing. Strike 1. Also to boot, the A's now have a lead. Bolte got a steal on ball. Butler already has a steal on the starter Brady Singer. He has a modest lead here. Oh, 2. Garcia is ready in the Reds pen. Grounded routine to McLean. A's get a tie-breaking tally. Hector Rodriguez will get it going for the Reds, trying to respond.
Bet365.
Join the Reds at every Tuesday home game for Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesdays. You can enjoy select $3 beers, $2 bar S hot dogs, $1 ice cream cups. Get tickets now, Reds.com/Tuesday. Alika Williams stays in. Straight switch for Walton at second base. Brady Basso, the new pitcher, left on left. Connects on strike 1 against Hector Rodriguez.
Brady Basso, his numbers on the season, he has not allowed a run in 3 road games so far. Fastball, slider, curveball, cutter, sinker, and very infrequently used changeup.
Getting a lot more strikeouts this year than last. Rodriguez has walked and scored. Away. Little flare. Stabbing grab to take it away from Jacob Wilson. It sounded like he broke his bat, and a ball that could have been destined for contact instead plucked by the A's shortstop.
Yeah, just a really good job right there on Jacob Wilson, timing this perfectly. You can read lips in Spanish. That was
strike 1 on Ke'Bryan Hayes, who has flied out, struck out.
Brother thought it was the first one of his career.
Ripped to third and handled by Tommy White. Reds now have double barrel in their pen. TJ Antone has joined Julian Garcia. Elevated miss to Matt McLean, who doubled his last time, has scored. It's also bounced to the pitcher on a broken bat. 2-0. The Reds have a number of known productive commodities, highlighted by the man on deck, Ellie De La Cruz. Appeal says he went 2-1, and the man who hits behind him in Sal Stewart. But if these Reds are gonna make noise from here on, they probably need another bat or two to step up.
Well, there's no probably to it. Definitely going to need another guy to step up. You think about the way that they scored the runs today. Hector Rodriguez walked. Double by Matt McLean down the first base line. Now you got guys in scoring position, runners on base with Ellie and Sal coming up.
McLean to right, Butler.
/premium.
Bring your furry friends to Great American Ballpark Tuesday, August 18th. Bark in the Park, presented by Good and Fun and Dreambone. Enjoy special pregame activities before Reds and Cardinals. Fetch tickets now, reds.com/bark. Julian Garcia is in.
He has been extremely valuable out of the pen. Look at those numbers. Since making his major league debut on 23rd of June, he leads the Reds with 16 strikeouts, all relievers. Pretty productive for him.
He uses the fastball to get ahead of Soderstrom, who's been on twice, a walk, a double. He has scored. Chopped to first. Fouled at the plate. Upstairs. Well hit foul. A's have a lefty up in their pen. Looks like Hogan Harris. The Reds do trail this game against an A's team that's been miserably awful for some time. He went. Strike three. While the Reds have won 4 of their last 5 series, the A's have lost 11 straight series, 5 straight games, 31 of their last 40. And right at the heart of it has been the A's lack of pitching. Second worst ERA in the sport, worst bullpen ERA in the sport, and the most homers surrendered in the majors. Swing and a miss, Jonah Heim. So there is a path for the Reds to rally. If there's any opponent you'd want to be facing down 1 run at this spot, it's the A's. Can Julian Garcia and the rest of the bullpen keep it where it is? Ahead 0-2 on Heim. Fisted to short. De La Cruz. 2 down. Jeff McNeil, the subject of our Kia player profile, mentioned his success since the break. Well, 2 more knocks tonight. Now 422 since the break.
It's been pretty much on fire.
A lot of singles tonight, both pulled to right. A shallow at third. Strike 1. Sent opposite way. McNeil drew the ire of Kenley Jansen the other day, their series against the Guardians, when he bunted for an RBI hit in the 9th. Came down 3 with 2 down. Jansen was not happy. Sought out McNeil to express that as the game concluded. We also saw a bunt laid down against Gavin Williams in that series when he was in the midst of a no-no. But hey, if you can get a run that way, you get an out, you got a hit for an RBI, playing the game.
That's right.
Yeah, the bunt attempt in Williams' perfect game try came against the D-backs. And we've seen other strings of that at times in recent years. Missed down. That's also part of the arsenal that could be used during the course of a series. Seemed to go. Pitch gets away. Stevenson has to throw down. Stewart with the stretch stays on the bag. They complete the putout. Couple of Ks for Garcia in a perfect inning. Top of the order for the Reds, trying to rally from down 1.
Tri-State Chevy Dealers.
Reds down a run. Ellie De La Cruz 2-run hit his last time. Our StatCast 3D Google Cloud, it was up there.
Yeah, Ellie has been exceptional with that bat in his hand on both sides of the plate. This time up hitting right-handed.
Facing Hogan Harris. Harris has a wide pitch array. Back-to-back breaking balls miss.
It's a fastball he throws about 60% of the time. However, there's a curveball, slider, changeup, and a cutter.
Dots the fastball for a strike. ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Batter is challenging the strike call.
I mean, that's an unhittable pitch, but that looked pretty good. That was a strike.
The call is confirmed. Cincinnati has 1 challenge remaining.
I mean, that's an example of a pitch that I don't think would have been called a strike in the pre-ABS era.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now, while he primarily uses the fastball, he does have that changeup, and Ellie De La Cruz has become a much better hitter against off-speed, against splits and changes. Down and in. Works a leadoff walk. He is on for Sal Stewart. Facing on the A's closer, essentially, although the wins have not piled up in a way to have truly set roles. It's a little more matchup oriented. He does lead them in saves. Stewart a single his first time, sac fly his last time. Sidearm throw nearly got away from Jeff McNeil.
Reds are screaming for a balk there.
Did you see one?
I did. I don't know if you're asking me.
But he stepped toward the plate.
Yeah, but he picked up that foot and took that foot back towards his back leg. Kind of the same motion, the stride that when he throws the ball to the plate. Disguised it through the first base. That's why they're screaming.
3-0. Bottom of the zone strike. Full count. J.J. Bleday just got beckoned over by hitting coach Chris Valaika. He's the on-deck man for a left-on-left matchup.
I'm going to guess they're telling him if it's first and second, think about bunting. I know, 3-batter.
Down and in. Let's see what happens. Back-to-back walks to De La Cruz and Stewart. Oddly enough, Harris has reverse splits. Lefties hit way better against him, 300, than righties at $189. But it is a one-run game. You have the tying run at second, a possible go-ahead run at first base. Bleday has one career sacrifice in the big leagues. He did not do it once in the minors.
And you can see Sal and Ellie out there in between first and second base having conversation. And that conversation is, hey, if you get a jump, I'm going to be coming. So don't start and then stop. Don't fake. You get a jump on this lefty and you can steal third base, take it.
Bleday does have 2 career bunt hits. Tommy White just off the grass in third. Pull tilt to the rest of the infield. Square, yank back, strike one. Bleday tonight has singled, walked, and struck out. Snaps for a strike. So White backs up at third.
Harris very quick to the plate. He's in the 1.1 range. Tough guy to run on. Oh, also, Reds hitters have been warned about quick pitches as well.
See if that tempo comes into play. Foul tip, strike 3. Now Tyler Stevenson. Breaking ball down. 0 for 3 tonight. He's bounced into a double play, fly to right, pop to short. Fastball running in for a strike. Luis Medina is still up in the A's pen. Elvis Alvarado has joined him. A couple of righties. Breaking ball lifted right field. Butler shaping up. De La Cruz showing tag. Butler makes the catch. Throw goes to third. Ellie's in. The ball gets away. Sal started and holds. Good backup by the pitcher and Harris. And now Stewart scurries up, but was time called. Stewart goes into second base. Play was live.
And that could be significant. Take away a forced play at second base, as well as put the winning run in scoring position. Throw right here, a really nice job of backing up the play. But Sal Stewart paying attention, getting himself to second base.
Tight strike on Eugenio Suarez. Harris has gone in on a few of these Reds righties. Suarez singled in the fourth. He is struck out, grounded out. The Reds reunited with Suarez in hopes of power and run production. They're down a run. Second and third, swing and a miss. 0-2.
Slow breaking ball.
That gets away. De La Cruz flying home. Tie game. Stewart to third. Wild pitch by Harris.
Mistakes late in the ball game. Harris just uncorking a high pitch, and Jonah Heim didn't have much of a chance to catch up to that one.
Up and in. That's the second wild pitch for Hogan Harris on the year, and it's his second in as many games. His other one came 2 days ago against the Tigers. Breaking ball down and in. 0-2 to 3-2. Payoff. Breaking ball foul. Mistakes for the A's pay off for the Redlegs.
Well, I'm going to tell you once again, you got to give Sal Stewart credit for getting himself to second base, then on the wild pitch getting to third base, and then able to score the go-ahead run on yet another wild pitch.
First career game with multiple wild pitches for Harris. The Reds sent on Ivan Johnson as a pinch runner for Suarez. There's been double barrel in the A's pen. That's going to be all for Sacramento's best reliever. Reds have the lead. Pitching change for the A's.
.com/premium.
Hellaciously ugly play from the A's. The Reds without a hit, 3 walks, 2 wild pitches, some alert base running, and some massive mistakes by the A's have gifted Cincinnati a 5-4 lead. Ivan Johnson, pinch runner. New pitcher is Elvis Alvarado, taking on Dane Myers.
High velocity stuff from Elvis Alvarado. It's a 99-mile-an-hour heater. Slider, sinker, and a split. IJ's got to get himself in a scoring position early here.
Myers fouls back, strike 1. He is flied out, lined out, struck out. .6'6", 253. Alvarado. White guards the line at third. Up and in, and that gets off Heim's glove. Johnson up to second base. That's another A's wild pitch. This is incredible. Johnson in scoring position. Emilio Pagan is up in the Reds' pen. Up and in again. Strike. Fisted pop. No play in the seats. Have had a lead and gone on to lose 30 times this year. Only 3 teams in the majors have suffered that fate more. Struck him out.
Well, Sal Stewart being very aggressive on the bases. The Reds take the lead in an inning without a single hit.
Stream, search Fox 19 now.
The Reds and Avocados from Peru have teamed up for a chance to win a new 2026 Toyota Tacoma SR or Reds VIP experience. To enter, scan the QR code on your screen, register at reds.com/AvoReds. Be sure to follow @Avos from Peru on Instagram. Several changes for the Reds, leading 5-4, 9th inning. Closer Emilio Pagan is in. TJ Friedel has entered the game at left field. And JJ Bleday has gone to right, so Hector Rodriguez is out of the game. Tommy White to right field. Bleday the call. 1 down. Pagan had time with the A's in 2018. They were his second major league team. It's strike one on Williams, who pinch hit and flied out in the seventh. In all of the big leagues this year, there have only been 2 innings where one team threw 3 wild pitches in an inning. Both came here against the Reds. Chase Silseth did so 8th inning for the Angels on April 11th. Reds scored 2 runs in that inning on 1 hit and won the game 7-3. Wow. Tonight they scored 2 runs on no hits, thanks in large part to 3 wild pitches in 1 inning to take a 5-4 lead. Grounded to short, straight up De La Cruz on the run, snaps it off, got it. No, safe. It said he's off the bag. Stewart argues immediately, but Will Little made the call. Stewart says challenge. He's convinced he was on first base. The Reds are going to challenge. The ball beat him. Was Sal on first? He looks like he is.
He does look like he is.
Cincinnati is challenging the safe call at first base.
Ooh. This is very similar to another play involving Sal in almost the same angle from earlier this year. That first angle, it looks that way. You can't clearly tell. The second angle is probably the best look. And you need clear and obvious video evidence that he's on the bag, because the call is safe. Well, that's close.
Yeah. That's probably the best angle right there. You got to blow that one up.
It's like me trying to read a check in a restaurant without my light on my phone on. Not the sharpest image. I can't say with that image that's 100% video evidence. Here we go. Lance Barksdale.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. Cincinnati will lose their challenge.
Scored a base hit. I think he's on the base. I think so.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there.
Now Max Muncy, who lined to center, would he pinch hit in the 7th. So the tying run is on. In the air left field, Friedel. Two down. Henry Bolte. Couple of hits, a steal, a run scored. Hayes guards the line at third. Smoked into left field. Williams up to second. A noticeable unease with a slight murmur as many stand. And what were arms raised, for some have changed to arms crossed. tying run in scoring position. Lawrence Butler has been on 3 times. A walk, fielder's choice, and error has scored a run. Strike 1. Hitless tonight. Two. In the dirt. When the A's came to Cincinnati in 2024, Butler was the star of the series. He thundered 5 home runs in that set. He had 3 in the finale. On any one pitch, on any one swing, he can be dangerous. Fouled away.
Well, I don't know how to describe this. Was this grinding out a win? I'm not sure, but whatever it was, it worked. And once again, I think we have to give a lot of credit to Sal Stewart for getting himself into scoring position. I said it was significant, and ended up being the winning run on the play after 2 guys were walked. Run on first and second, 1 out. Fly ball to right field. Elly De La Cruz tags up the overthrow. Hogan Harris was in position, but he puts his head down. And Sal Stewart on first base gets himself to second base. Wild pitch, Elly scores. Wild pitch, Sal scores. And that is the ball game.
The Reds made fewer and least costly mistakes in this game. The opportunistic Reds pounce on the A's. We have more to come. 5-4. Cincinnati takes game 1 against the A's on this K from Emilio Pagan.